Hi Taurus, this is your homework family reading for June 15th through the 30th. Now, I've been hitting the bell a lot. The bell is my Pegasus bell. I use the bell to bring in some more purification of energy so that I'm making sure I'm getting all the right energy. And I've just been feeling the bell a little bit more than the candle and light right now. So, that's why I hit it. Now, this is for all Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs for Taurus for June 15th through the 30th. Now, you guys, your information came in a little bit differently, and I had to kind of rush to get over here and start making the video for you. You can see my hair is a little bit wet. I had just gotten out of the shower, as a matter of fact, when Spirit basically told me who I was reading for, and I had to come and start this reading before I lost it. Because normally, as a medium, they give me information in a different way, but it came in very shamanically. And with that being said, I'm going to try to pass it on to you the best I can. But shamanically leaves it a little bit to be digested, is the best way of putting it. In shamanic work, it's the shaman gives you what we were given, but we're not really meant to cipher it for you. And I can cipher some of it of what I've been told. And then I have to leave the rest of it for you, and then I'll jump into the astrology and the cards. You are getting a divine judgment. And for your sake, I hope that the divine judgment is completely to the power of you. What I'm being given is I'm getting a lot of Egypt stuff. And this may have absolutely nothing to do with you other than how they chose to give me the information. But if it does on a shamanic level, what you think or feel or it's coming in and digesting, that will be the right information. What they gave me, first off, when they told me that I was reading for you, was the bull. The bull is, I first was told with the bull, you are Taurus. You are the bull. You are abundance. Abundance comes with who and what you are. And in Taurus, it gives a very heavenly feeling. Your goal is to aim for the heavenly feeling. You want the best, you want the best things in life. You like the luxury. You want that kind of stuff. So this is what I was being given when I was first given the bull. Was the abundance and the aim for the luxury, not necessarily the luxury, but aiming for the heavenly side of life, so to speak, with that abundance. But as soon as they gave me that, I was like, okay, no problem. So we're going to be reading for them. I'll get out in the shower and take care of myself, blah, 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 blah. No. Then it all just came flooding in like nobody's business. It went right into, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, the Nemes striped headdress for like the Egyptian pharaohs. It was the striped cloth that went on the Egyptian pharaohs. It was just given to me of that, which just made me feel of royalty, or the pharaoh, of the king, the royalty. I felt that energy that came with it. But as soon as I got that and understood what that was, then it shifted. It went into the Sphinx. So it's still the same headdress, but now with the Sphinx. And then it shifted again and it went to Anubis. Anubis then was going towards the judgment of the feather, where they weigh the heart against the feather. This all may have a lot to do with what's going on with you. All I know is this is what I was given to give you. And if it's just too far out there, man, I'm sorry. That's the way it was given to me. So I'm giving you what I was given. But in Egyptian mythology, or way back in time, the idea was that the god of the underworld was Anubis. Like I said, it went from seeing the Sphinx, which technically is speaking to you of a riddle, And if you passed, then you could go on. And if you did not, then the Sphinx would eat, would eat you, more or less. And you were done. But it went from the Sphinx image with the headdress turned into Anubis, which is the god of the underworld, and he was going to the hall where they would weigh the heart against the feather. He was the guardian who took them there. Okay, the idea is if you weigh your heart against the feather, you will automatically lose unless you let everything go. The only way for the heart to not be as heavy, heavier than a feather, is for it to not have to hold on to anything. So I feel like this is really talking to you about letting go of attachment. But that's as far as I can go into that, other than allowing you to see where your own guides are taking you and see what that tells you. Now, because normally I'm given other information, but it came in very shamanically, and I can only give you what I'm being given, and I was told to come do the reading now. So, like I said, hair's still wet. Okay, now, with that being said, as I get into astrology for the 15th through the 30th of June, first off, you have a full moon. Come on, baby. My kitty cat. You have a full moon, which is taking place in a void of course from Sagittarius to Capricorn. Everybody's probably going to be calling it Capricorn, but really it's a void of course. It's taking place on the day that it moves from one sign to the other. So you're going to be feeling both Sagittarius and Capricorn energy on the 17th when that full moon is. And it's going to be on a Monday. Then you have on the 21st, no, on the 20th. Yeah, I'm sorry. Then you have on the 20th, Jera, or Jura, Yera, however you pronounce it properly, is, when I do astrology, all things are planets, as far as I'm concerned, when I speak them. Whether it's an asteroid, whether it's a comet, whether it's a planet, a dwarf planet, whether it's out in the Kuiper Belt, everything I just say is a planet. It's just easier, and then I go over what its energies are. So Jura, or Yura, however you pronounce it, is coming out of Cancer and is moving into Leo on the 20th. Now, this speaks of sacrificing commitment, so that I know I've gotten that part out there. On the 21st, Neptune goes retrograde. So it's going to be in shadow right up until the 21st. So even though once it's in retrograde, it is still digging through darker aspects. It's not seeing it from a shadow point of view now. It's turned inwardly and is able to talk to you nicely and really sift through all of the healing energies and talk to you on a positive and a negative. Prior to it going retrograde, it really is only in shadow and is only seeing the negative. It's not even giving you a break. So our magic is in shadow right now. It's in darkness. It's in the mirrors right now, so to speak. And Neptune is our magic. It's where fantasy smacks you in the face with some harsh-ass reality. Okay? I'm going to get in a little bit deeper when I look at the astrology some more for you. But on the 21st also is when the sun moves into Cancer. Then on the 26th, you have Mercury also moving into Leo. Now, Mercury is your communication. And it is, here's the thing. It is moving into Leo, but, now that makes sense now. I understand why they brought me to you. You're ruled by Venus, and I wasn't even putting that together. But, I'll get to that in a minute. Sorry, his spirit was communicating with me. Here's the thing. When you're looking at your astrology, everybody this month through June is pretty much talking about Mars, Jura, if they're talking about Jura, and Mercury being in Cancer and crossing the North Node. Yes, that's a very powerful energy. But Mars, Jura, Mercury, North Node, all of them are kind of like 10 degrees apart from each other. So it's not like an energy here and an energy here and an energy here. It's like they're coming together into a ball of energy. And then they're slowly moving across. And the reason I'm saying that is because Mars isn't actually moving until July. But still, they're in 10 degrees of each other. The only one who's not leaving Cancer and going into Leo is the North Node, because it's going the opposite direction. But I'm helping you realize right off the bat, that's your sacrifice, your commitment, your communication, and your passion, your action, your aggression, your fire energy. Along with I connect Mars with the sacral chakra, because it's also sexual energy. So I connect it with the passion of who and what you are, your inner warrior, your inner SWAT team, your passion, your action, your aggression, your fire, with your sexuality, that sacral chakra, speaking with your commitment, your sacrifice and your commitment and your communication is going from Cancer and into Leo. Near the end of the month is when that big ball of energy is starting to shift. But prior to that, it's all in Cancer. Now, if we look at your chart from a universal standpoint, this is saying that that energy is in your third house. So it's seriously all in your communication house. It's going from your communication house over to your pursuit of pleasure house. That's the universal fifth house. So up until the last week or so of the month, all of this is taking place. Is it? No, I'm wrong. Okay, I am wrong. It's going from your communication, but then it's going into the fourth house, which is home, not your pursuit of pleasure. I do apologize. So all of that energy, your commitment, your passion, your action, your inner energy, your sexual energy about how you feel about yourself, and sacrificing commitment that you give yourself, your communication of how you feel about yourself and how you express yourself, is speaking to communication in general. But it's also speaking with your neighbors, your siblings. It's paying a lot of attention to your messaging system, to your text messages, to your emails, to your gossip, your phone calls, your short visits, your transportation. It's also getting into your trivia, your intellect. It's getting into, all of these little small bits of information that are part of your big part of your day, even though it's usually the close to home stuff more than, seriously the outer community. But like I said, with it being a communication house, it is dealing with your anything that has to do with how you text someone, how you call someone, the emails that you write. So all of this energy is coming forth in this energy, but it's about to move into that fourth house as you leave this end of the month of June and you enter into July. All of that energy is moving into your home, the house of the home. It's your personal foundations, your personal roots. It's your inner emotional security. It's about your karmic lessons. It's your reincarnation in general. Also, that's another thing. I'm sorry when I said reincarnation. The cloth, that the Egyptian headdress is given to me speaks of rebirth. So, like I said, something about a rebirth, a transformation with the rebirth, the Anubis with weighing the heart on the flower in the underworld is what this is coming down to being about. But I can't go into more about what the shamanic energy was giving me, because that's something that you have to understand and digest, other than what I was being given. Now, like I said, that was just your energy of Jera, Mercury, and Mars as they move from that third house to the fourth house, out of communication and into the home. And remember, always the home is this, not this. I mean, it is this, but it's dealing with the home of who and what you are, what you can't get away from. But it's your personal foundations and the roots that created you to be who you are. The true self of who you are comes from the home. It does deal with home and family, but that's also the communication house of the third, which is, your siblings and your neighbors as well. So that is speaking to you at the end of the month. But as you really come to like the last week of the month, all of that energy is moving into the soul fire of who and what you are. That's the home. Now, the full moon is taking place on the 17th in Capricorn. For you, that is, it's going from your 8th house to your 9th house. So it's going to be going, like I said, because it's going to be in void, of course, from Sagittarius to Capricorn. Now, for you, it's going to be crossing Sagittarius, going into Capricorn, but that's your 8th and your 9th house. So it's going to be looking at what are the rules within your relationships. What are the joint finances within the relationships? Joint resources within the relationships. Joint efforts, joint resources, joint anything, anything that is a role within the relationship. What are the responsibilities to the relationship? So they'll be being brought to your attention right there and around the full moon on the 17th. But then it's going to be moving into that 9th house. So it's going into your spirituality, into your soulfulness, into your philosophy, your religion, your laws, your morals, your spiritual urges, your dreams, your visions, your higher mind, your rituals, your journeying, your traveling, your higher education. It's getting into your psychic energy and your spiritual essence. Okay? So it's going to be getting into the truth of that more. But here's the thing. For you, as that full moon takes place, it's coming closer to Saturn and Pluto, because this is going into Capricorn. For you, your whole spiritual house is in a place of rebirthing, more or less, because Capricorn is all about setting new foundations. That makes so much sense. Because as I kept being given, and I didn't want to say it, but as I kept being given, I had been saying a couple months back that I kept being given like Egyptian images of like the pyramids. And what Spirit kept giving me when they gave me that is setting foundations that last lifetimes. Not one lifetime. Setting foundations that last lifetimes. It's like setting an impression. You only have one chance to set an impression, but what if you set such a powerful impression that it lasted lifetimes? And when I was getting that images, that's what I was feeling, but I couldn't understand why I was feeling it. Now it makes sense, because your full moon is taking place on top, or at least coming closer in Capricorn to Pluto and to Saturn. Okay? And Saturn's in retrograde right now. So it's already going back over what rules, walls, boundaries needs to be shifted. What are the proper limitations? Are there limitations? These are the questions. Why are they set this way? Why is the limitations what they are? Why are these rules this way? Why are these boundaries set this way? Is it working for me? These are these conversations that you're probably having with yourself in your soulfulness, and what you truthfully believe about yourself and your spirituality and the spirit of who and what you are. The full moon is coming in on top of this energy. So it's going to be bringing up extra emphasis on what rules you have on yourself and why. And Pluto is sitting right there with this. So this is all about a rebirthing, all about spirituality for you. Because Pluto wants nothing more but than for you to evolve. Pluto only wants death, decay, and destruction. Get rid of what's no longer serving people. We're done with this shit, and let's move on to something positive and start a regeneration, a rebirth, a brand new cycle. So this is really what I'm getting with this energy, is you're setting new foundations that is going to redirect your lifetime, for the rest of your lifetime. And you're going to be feeling this energy coming in now, is what I'm being given during this full moon. You may not notice it right at this point, but you may look back in years later and be like, that's when I started to feel this shift take place. This is what I'm being given. But it is coming straight across, and it's not getting along with the energy that's going on in Cancer and going into Leo, which happens to be that communication house. Like I said, with the siblings and with the home and the family. So there may be things going on within the home and the family that's not the home, the family, the communication of who and what you're having to talk to, whether it's text, emails, family, but it's something in this energy is fighting against what your soulful desires are trying, what your intuition is telling you should be going with. Is really what I feel. Something about this is a shift, maybe from one position of yourself to another, but it may be within the actual family, or the neighbors, the neighborhood where you're living, what you have to deal with on a daily basis because of this communication. Something about this communication is definitely telling you a shift must take place. Whether it's spiritual, soulful, getting to know yourself on a much new level, an enlightenment of yourself, or maybe you're getting an enlightenment of everyone else and realizing you don't want that anymore. But that's basically what I'm seeing. Now, all month you are having, because I should have already told you this in part one, first half of June, but all month you're having a T square, which is going from Pisces to Jupiter and down to Venus. And Venus is in your second house, which is where your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem is. It's also how you create money and spend it, but coming through readings from me, it's going to be more of your self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. Venus is talking to the sensitivities of that self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, and what it is that you are not comfortable with, what you're touchy-feely about, what you're all ooey gooey, soft and chewy, and you love about yourself versus the things you don't like about yourself. And why? Why are you being that way? Why are you not honoring yourself properly in some of these areas? This is talking about your securities, your investments as well. And it's not getting along with Neptune, which happens to be your 11th house, which is groups, friends, memberships, outside community, wishes, hopes, goals, dreams. Something feels like it's standing in your way. And it's going all the way over to Sagittarius, 8, which is your 8th house, going back to what are the rules within the relationship. I just feel like the communication really is, you're at a shifting pivotal point. And it's really starting to look at how you feel about yourself, where you want yourself to go, what you're acknowledging on your soulfulness. Are you listening to your intuitions? And what is the outer community? And what I mean by outer community in your case is the home, is the friends, is the memberships. Everybody who you're involved with, are these people you still are connecting with? Do they still serve you? Yes, no. Is it fighting who and what you want to be or know yourself to be? But it's like they say, are you going along with the crowd just because the crowd's there? Or you have courage enough to stand and be on your own because you know what you want. And I'm not telling you to leave anybody. I'm not telling you to break up with anybody or move out. I'm just saying it seems like it's a rebirthing of finding yourself and learning to stand your ground of who and what you are versus what everybody else may want you to be. That's really what I feel like a lot of this energy is coming down to. All right, now that's what I got for the astrology. I mean, I can't get into any more depth because I don't have anybody's personal chart, but that's really where I feel like it's going. All right, who wants to talk? Did you want to talk? Okay, open. My little deck, my little White Sage Tarot deck. I love that it comes in a little tin can. This is, tell me about Taurus. Right here in the beginning. Right in, right around June 15th. What do they need to know about their energy? About what's going on around them? The Queen of Swords. This is telling you to be sure of yourself. The Queen of Swords is sure of herself. She is intense. She is a spirit who has no problem speaking her mind. And I feel like they are telling you to be this. Be sure of yourself. Have no trouble speaking your mind. Speak what needs to be spoken. I mean, come on. I'm being given pharaohs and shit. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm being given pharaohs and shit. So go